Damn it. It's on now, right? You can hear me now, right? I bet you can hear me now. What's going on, Bruce? Can y'all hear me now? Wait, y'all not going y'all need to know with this one. I gotta tell you, it was actually I had it clicked on mute. I'm gonna put this back on because this is supposed to give it a better sound. Man, y'all know sometimes we just do the simplest things. Okay, so let me get back to this microphone. Okay, all right, I got that one working. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that. So that's sounding good. Yo, it was just the thing. I actually had clicked on mute. I missed clicking on another slide and I had clicked on mute. Okay. So we got Daphne we got Bruce let me know from Chicago, my brother. We got Daphne let me know from Chicago, my sister. We got Haas Jose let me know from New York, my brother. We got Tremel let me know from LinkedIn. Oh no, he's on Facebook today and from Chicago as well, my brother. Okay, good. All right. All right, y'all. Here we go. Welcome to Glue Wednesday. If it's your first time, I created Glue Wednesday back in 2017. And I created because so often we hear people say that Wednesday is hump day. Well, I like to say, hey, old school rules. And back in the day, we only looked at it as you work Monday to Friday and the weekend. The term flex time was not popular. It just wasn't there. But there's always been people that didn't work Monday to Friday. Hotels, public transportation, restaurants, but you just didn't hear the term. So people said hump Wednesday was hump day. You got over the hump toward the weekend. Well, I say, let me put another spin on it. Wednesday is the middle of a traditional 7-day week because every week is 7 days, regardless of when you work. So I say Wednesday is the day that keeps the week beginning and the weekend together. So it's the glue. And therefore I say it's also the glue. This puts me in one of my favorite poses because it's a prayerful pose. And therefore I decide that glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. And that's why I created Glue Wednesday. Not that God's love tears things apart, but what has been torn apart, God's love will undo that tear and bring it back together. Then during the pandemic, I increased my Glue broadcasts to Monday and Friday as well. So I had Glue Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then to help me come up with messages every day, I created what was called the Glue Alphabet series, where every week I would say, here's the letter we're going to focus on today. Next week, we're going to focus on a different letter of the alphabet. And if you want to get a word with that letter into my message, put a word that begins with that letter in the thread. So I would tell people to do that toward the end. Okay, so now I dropped Monday and Friday off, and we're back to just Wednesdays. And this time I decided to do something new. And instead of doing a alphabet series, I did I've now introduced what I call the gain series, where instead of volunteer a letter for next week's message, you volunteer a number, and you'll be able to do that toward the end of the broadcast. Don't do it yet, but I call it the gain series. It's the Glue Analogies in Numbers. So I got that off quick, so we're good. We're still good. Okay. So yeah, toward the end of the broadcast, I'll ask you to put in your number that you would want, and you don't even need to tell me why you picked that number. You just put the number in the thread, and I'll be able to pick that up and work it in and weave it into next week's message. But each week I start out with what I call, and so today's numbers are my volunteers. I call them my gain co-authors of Bridgett, who gave me 501. Tremel gave me 16. Lorenzo gave me 13 and 1946. And Daphne gave me 41. I'm getting flashes on my camera, on my computer. I wonder if we're getting ready to have a blackout or anything. I hope it's not happening to y'all. So anyway, so those are my volunteers. Now, each week, what I'll do is I'll introduce you to what I call the Gain Pledge. And the Gain Pledge, which will always have a new heading that incorporates the word gain. Last week, it was Reflection Gain. And I shared more of my process and how I create the message, giving you an idea of how you can use it in other parts of your life to really make the numbers work for you. This week, it will be Goal Gain. and I will still be sharing some of my process in creating the message, which will give you an idea of how to use it. But also, I'll then I'll dive into today's message, and I'll pepper my message, my goal by okay, slow down and breathe. I'll pepper my message with an affirmation from my book, Affirmations, Goals, GOALS, Gifts Our Angels Love Sharing. Affirmation is a book where I do more than just make it an acronym and give a word for each letter of the word. I define the word and give the word meaning according to what it says. So now when you think about what is a goal, well, it's a gift that our angels love to share. So that's how I pepper that. I'm peppering today's message of goal gain. I will also each week have what I call a guiding scripture. My guiding scripture this week will be Joseph 45, 4 through 8. But don't be angry with yourselves that you did this to me, for God did it. He sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. And therefore, that will be my message today. And it's a question that I want you to answer anytime during the broadcast. And that is, how's your patience? How's your pace and patience? You can answer that anytime during the broadcast. And I'll click it up there on the screen and watch the way our lives go. It's gonna weave wonderfully right into our message, because that's what we do. A good friend of mine said to me, I just love watching the broadcast and how when messages and people come on, you just don't skip a beat and you incorporate it right into the message. That's synchronicity, y'all. That's because our spirits are working together. So I thank that friend who said that to me, because that was a blessing for her to say it. And I thank you for continuing to do that and help me with it. But yet, I still, like I say, I'm going to ask you the process question. So here's the first thing I do once I get your numbers and I want to create the message. I kind of stare at the numbers to see if there's anything instant or obvious about them. Ooh, oh, my thing is going backwards. Something. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. So I kind of just stare at the numbers. Okay. So and believe me, I want you to see if you can see anything common, anything that these have in common. And believe me, you're going to have to be super creative, because I think this group of numbers that I had really needed the inside scoops. I had a lot. I got some inside scoops as to why people send me certain messages. But what do you? Oh, let me make that bigger for you. As you look at those numbers, what do you think? Do you see that they have anything in common? This is where you release yourself, and that's, like I say, in another part of your life, release yourself and let yourself be creative. What do you see that may be in common with these numbers? And again, I'm going to let you know, don't worry if your brain doesn't come up with one, because this one took some work for me, and that becomes part of the message too. By the way, that's the once I look at the letters, that's when I decide what kind of gain it's going to be. Because as I looked at the numbers, and that's when I asked. So let's see. Tremel said there's a number 1 in every one of them. Woo! Now it's, I love it. Now I didn't catch that, Tremel. Wow, thank you. There's a number 1 in everyone, and watch this now. We're going to see. So think about it. We're talking about goals, right? So goal is, you should have, I always say I reach one goal a day, because my goal every day is to wake up tomorrow. So I reach at least one goal a day. So thank you, Tremel, as we're talking about goals. One. And then think about this too. Who's the goal for you? It's for you. You have to be number 1. And who do you ask to help you get to reach that goal? Number 1, you get God. So see, so thank you, Tremel. See, so that's okay, good. Here we go. All right. Oh man, that's great. Well, here's what I saw in them. I look at all All right. Did it go crazy for y'all? It's my cursor is still running crazy. We lost you. Okay, am I back? Am I back? Wow. Yeah, this thing is going crazy. Am I back? Oh, I'm back. Good. Yeah, I had to go out and reload the page. Let's see if I reloaded the right one. Yep, we're back. Hey, boy, we are not going to let technology. And hey, what's going on, Darlene? Hey, Darlene just signed up to it. Thank you so much. You're going to be getting the powerful 3, which will include this. Yep. Okay. And I'm back to being live. Thanks. New Yorkers, let me know. Darlene, you're in Chicago, I believe, right, Darlene? And Bruce is in Chicago, and so is Tremel. So got a lot of Chicago representative on there. All right, good. Whew, so we're back. So anyway, so what were we talking about? We were talking about the numbers. Okay. And so Darlene in Charlotte. Yes, you know what I'm thinking of Darlene Parker in Chicago. What's going on, Darlene, right here in Charlotte? Yes. I remember meeting you. Okay. Thank you. Oh my God, my screen is doing crazy things, y'all. If I go away again, I'm going to click refresh and I'll be back. But meanwhile, let's go into today's message. When I look at these numbers, I actually see milestones. Now you might say, "Oh, I don't see milestones." That's what I'm saying. That's the inside clue. Technology can't stop our motion in the ocean. Yes, we always win. Remember, technology at the very least needs us to turn the power on. Don't ever lose to technology. I never do. I never lose to technology. And come on, old school people, we got to get up on technology. Stop saying, man, these kids just know the technology. Get up on the technology because you have to help them, guide them. Don't you notice that a lot of times the technology they know, they didn't have to learn it, they just did it. So sometimes, excuse me, like if you try to have a kid teach, I've had them try to teach me how to do a video game, and and then you do, and I'm like, you're not showing me. They kill me. But you got to slow them down and help them use the technology, which is also what I'm doing here when I say to you, I want you to see how to use the creativity. Everything is about helping one another. Okay, so let me tell you why these numbers are milestones. First, let's look at Bridgett's 501. See, 501 is actually the name of her company, 501c3, my organization, and whose mission and goal is to help people fulfill their vision of starting a 501c3 not-for-profit and making a living helping others. She's having her first virtual conference for anyone interested in learning how to start. Oh, okay. For anyone interested in learning how to start a not-for-profit, this Thursday, next Thursday night, start next Thursday night, July 20th, through Saturday afternoon, July 22nd. And I give the full shout out there because I'm excited about being her master of listening. That's why you see, on my under my name it says the master of listening. A master of listening is a step above an MC. So I'll be her master of listening next week to help connect the messages that'll be shared during the sessions. Registration is free, as well as there are some investment opportunities if you're looking for additional services. So you can come get the information, but then if you're looking for some different additional services, she'll be able to help you with that. That's not being slick, by the way. You get. It's not one of those things where you get enough free stuff to where you have to pay. It's not one of those. The things that you will invest in, are you saying, oh, okay, now that I learned that, I see how I would want to use that service, and you may be able to get it from her, or maybe you can get it from someone else, or maybe you'll even know it. Okay, that's a little bit too much, but that's one of her goals that I'm seeing, a milestone. This is her first one. Congratulations on your new company, Bridgett. And then growing up, guess what? Tremel's 16. Growing up, don't we all want to be 16? We all want to get 16, sweet or not. And years after making that goal to 16, we have an annual goal of celebrating that day. In fact, one of my favorite plays on word is wishing somebody a happy anniversary of their birth. And that's a term that my mother used in her philosophy, and the statement that we only have one birthday every year after that is the anniversary of that celebration. And even as I share and wish that, I keep my goal of never forgetting my mother's life, but learning to live with her death by honoring her spirit in me. So I always say happy birth anniversary of your birth. And what's going on okay, Pastor Oh, okay, Pastor Milton Corley in Blythewood, South Carolina. Good to meet you, man. Welcome, welcome. I probably met you through the Yellow Ribbon program when I'm working with the Army down there. So amen. Okay, so that's one of the milestones. 16. Then Lorenzo's gave us 13 and 1946 were his numbers. Well, as it turns out, his birth anniversary is also one of our first goals in life. And that is what? To become a teenager, right? When we're 5, we want to get 8. I think we're going to get 10 to get double digits. Then we want to get 13 to be a teenager. Then 16, I think that was kind of when you get your curfew lifted a little bit more. So all of those things, okay? So, but becoming a teenager is one of the milestones. And then the least connected number in the bunch was 41. It's 41. So I Googled and found what it stood for as an angel number. In numerology, angel numbers, come on, click for me there. There we go. In numerology, angel numbers are a repetitive sequence of 3 or 4 numbers that appear in seemingly random places in your life to convey a spiritual or divine message. According to Alex Getz, an astrologer and tarot reader of nearly 20 years, angel numbers carry information from the spiritual realm. Oh, Milton, I met him in MacB. Yes, and okay. Did you go to the reunion? I couldn't go last week because I had a death in my family in New York. But anyway, God bless you. Amen. All right, Milton. Okay, so that's what an angel number is. So in the process of Googling and finding out what an angel number is so that I could get what the connection and the milestone for 41 is, then I found that it has everything to do with each of the other numbers and how they see their goal attainment. So I'll give you the write-up on the angel number 41 with a twist to it. And then I'm going to give you a poem dedicated to goal setting. The twist is that as I read the write-up, I'm going to replace the word number with their word number, angel number, with our word goal, so that we can hear some of the ingredients and faith in setting personal goals. That's that number 1 that Tremel told us about, personal goals. So here's what angel number 41 stands for, but we're going to call it angel goal 41. Angel goal 41 is a symbol of hope and affirmation. You should be more hopeful in life. Trust yourself more and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. This goal is also a symbol of spiritual guidance in its highest form, a higher form. You simply feel a divine presence in your life and you know that you are on the right path. This goal represents creation and imagination. For those who struggle with their creativity, this goal brings inspiration to overcome almost every creative obstacle. All you need to do is follow your instincts and don't allow others to tell you what you can and cannot do. This goal is also a representation of common sense and reality. You will be able to see things in their true shape and form. This will help you determine the course of action you need to take in order to get things right back in order. Angel Goal 41 brings you materialization of your desires. If you keep on working hard and following your inner voice, then nothing will stop you on your road to success. Goal 41 brings you enough strength and desire to overcome any obstacles. So make sure you use this divine guidance in the right way. Now, the poem that I believe captures the spirit of the numbers selected today is in my book, I Found Out I'm Dying, a celebration of life. A book about the fact that physically we're all dying from the day we were born. Get over it. But the book is not, we're all dying from the day we're born, but the book is not all about dying. It's about that subtitle, a celebration of life. And so that's, oh my goodness, this thing is doing a weird things to me again, y'all. Is it cutting off on y'all again? Oh my God. Now what? Get rid of this. Get rid of this. Okay. No, don't get rid of that. Oh. Yeah, I wonder if I got some kind of, you know, my computer did tell me that I needed to restart it and upgrade it. So, oh well, we'll see. I think we're not far from the end. We'll make it through. So anyway, this poem I think captures the spirit of the numbers today. And the title of the poem is Fruit of Thy Labor. So thank you, Haas, for letting me know that what's going on my screen is not happening on yours. Okay. Okay. We still good. All right. Thank you. So, because in the book, sometimes what I do is I give a little introduction to the poem so that people can understand how to use the poem. If you know the motivation of why it was written, sometimes it helps you understand it better. So here's the introduction to Fruit of Thy Labor. Fruit of Thy Labor is a poem about the fact that we sometimes place a higher value on our time than we do on someone else's life. You don't think so? Well, think about that time you were more concerned about someone being late to meet you than you were about whether or not they were in an accident trying to hurry because they knew how you didn't like to wait. And I'm not saying you ought to take your time and let the world be thankful that you plan on showing up. What I am saying is that I believe you honestly make every effort to be on time when we meet. So if you're not here, my first concern is for your safety. I wrote this poem while waiting to see a potential client with whom I did not have an appointment. He had agreed to see me at the request of a counterpart who I did have an appointment with, who felt that my services might be more appropriate for this other department. This is when I had started my speaking business. I waited an hour and a half for his meeting that he was in to finish so he could come and see me. But instead of focusing on the 90 minutes, I focused on the 39 years that I had waited to talk to someone about paying me for my gift. See, I started being an entrepreneur at 38. And so this was 39 years later when I'm waiting for somebody to be willing to pay me for my gift. And so that's why this is called Fruit of Thy Labor. Actually, it was no work at all. Instead, it was a blessing, a forthcoming, a catastrophe. You had me wait patiently for what seemed like minutes, though actually a lifetime of ascension. And as I learned to take another step, my footing found solid ground, for my faith neither feared nor acknowledged seepage. My reward rejoiced in hidden silence, as my request spake not in words, but comfortably in the word. My cup is a basket, is a tub, is a river, and its running is a flow that remains calm by your touch. Fruit of thy labor. Let me ask you again, how's your pace and patience? Are you beating yourself up and following misguided? Are you beating yourself up and following misguided expectations? Don't be angry with yourself, for you did not do this to me. God did it. Don't beat yourself up with the misguided expectation that you are running things so much that you are not allowing God his rightful place in your life, because he will take it. He sent me ahead of you to preserve your life. And that's what he does. This, you know how when we say, I'm going through a storm right now, I'm going through something. Well, what is going through, first of all, is a self-fulfilling prophecy saying that I know I'm going to come out of it. And as we're going through, it's just like the joke we have in Poltergeist, follow the light, Caroline. You follow the light of God as it moves you through. It says, follow me. He goes ahead to make a way for you. And so that's what we want to be conscious of in terms of our pace and patience. And that's why we have to know that you have to gain and let your life get better. We need you to make it happen. That's that one that Tremel talked about. And we need you to have pace and patience to reach your goals and your success. Remember, we don't have to hump, and we don't want to hump. We want to find ways to keep it together. Thank you. Oh, what'd you say, Daphne? I've learned that by having patience, I can remain calm and let situations progress to a favorable outcome, and which is also called prayer. So we have to have, once you're patient, and Daphne is great because we learned that lesson. And what do we have to do? We have to relearn it. So don't, anybody who's watched, oh, I didn't learn that lesson. Oh, how come I can't hold on to it? That's part of the patience. And then that's part of the pace also, and that you don't have to get it. In my poem, I talked about the 90 minutes I waited for this meeting, but then I translated that to 39 years. I was 39 years old. So and I was now 1 year into my speaking, my entrepreneurial business. So 38 years I had been, had a job or, growing to be an entrepreneur. And I waited 38 years, so I couldn't wait another 90 minutes. So you got to learn this lesson, and you have to relearn it, because you have to remind yourself we're socialized to learn through repetition. And so as we learn things over and over again, we repeat it, we forget it. We repeat it, we forget it. And then we get longer in between times where we forget it, and then we repeat it, and then it becomes, just like exercising. You can't diet one day and it's a wrap, okay? You have to repeat. And that's why I thank all of you for coming on and repeating, your time with me on this broadcast. And this is also a time where you can put your numbers in if you like, because we're getting ready to close out. But put your numbers in that I'll use in next week's broadcast. But we can never stop learning. And I learn when I get your numbers. Look at what Daphne's 41 made me Google and find about the angel numbers to make it applicable. Bridgett, I've known for years from Chicago when I was her mentor in Toastmasters. And now she's growing into her business, and she's called me to ask me to ask me to help her with this new venture that she has. Tremel, I've known for a few years now, and I met him while I was in Chicago through my friend Cassandra, who's in Toastmasters, and now we're fantasy football players. All right. And Haas, Jose, we grew up together. Bruce, who's on here, Bruce, and we grew up together helping kids at the Boys and Girls Club in Chicago. Pastor Corley, I met him in McBee, South Carolina, with my good friend Pat Harris, who I met in Chicago. And when I moved down here to Charlotte, I was closer to McBee, South Carolina, which is just over an hour away from me. So you got all of these different connections, all of these things about the pace and patience. As I've enjoyed how God is moving my life along. And hey, in fact, be sure you look at a post that I did prior to this broadcast on my Facebook and LinkedIn page about how about how things are going in my life, and how you can, and how, it's important to not get so caught up in being right that you lose yourself. Okay. So anyway, all of that. So again, Daphne, thank you. Really good lesson that we all have to know. And as you put your numbers in, I want to also thank everyone who volunteered numbers today. And I want you to find a way to make sure that you keep it together. And put your numbers in now for next week. and where we have to remember that we have, those are my people who helped me today with the numbers. So thank you all. I appreciate you. And already Haas is putting in his number. Is it a 212? That's our area code. Haas, I'm going to Grant Day this year. All right. So 212, that's our area code. But I also want to always remind you to put in the numbers for my website, sportyking.com, where you can get my books, my t-shirts, my inspirational cards, and sometimes just a great read. So, I'm pacing myself to do as God is leading me. And I know that you're pacing yourself as well. So let's remember to keep pacing ourselves and run next to one another. And more importantly, let's run with one another. So I'm going to run out of here right now. Bruce is giving me the number 113. So now, oh God, everybody getting triple numbers in now, right? And see, that's the beauty and love of it, y'all. It doesn't matter. We can handle whatever cards are dealt with, and whatever numbers you give me, I'm going to make the numbers work for you. That's what you have to do in your life. That's what the game series is all about. Make the numbers work for you, or the numbers will work against you. And sometimes, we say, hey, I'm just a number, because sometimes in this world, that's what we are. And there's Tremel giving me the 312. Okay, there we go. Tremel giving me the 312, which is Chicago's area code. Hey, Bruce, is 113? Is that an area code too? And Daphne giving us 33, a number I often see on the clock. Wow, a number. Yeah, Daphne, you know what I do? Because my birth date is the 27th, August 27th, I see the number 27 on the digital clock a lot. Whether it's 827, which is my favorite because that's August 27th, but I'll see 727, 527. And so, so you see 33 a lot on the clock. Is that connected to, what time you were born or something like that? I don't know, but that's okay. Bruce, January 13th, right? The 113. See, there we go. We make the numbers work. And that's what, y'all are too cool, man. We are having a ball. And this, so if you put on your thing that you did today, you accomplished. Remember, we talked about reaching one goal. Well, you reached the goal of a smile today. And you certainly put a smile on my face, man. I'm having a ball. So thank you. Anybody else, even if you're watching the broadcast, it's never too late to put your number in. As long as I have them in by next Monday, we're good, because that's when I usually start thinking about the message and getting it in. And I'm going to be happy to get off this broadcast. So my screen is just jumping all over. and that's after all of that, of me simply not having myself on mute. I'll see you at Grant Day. Yes. And everybody stay alert. And again, Daphne, Darlene, thank you so much. 6. Oh, she just had a birthday. That's right. Yeah, 6. And look at all them 6s. All right. Okay. and remember that, darling, you won't have to tell me the reason. It's just conversation, but that's fine. All right. And then Bruce, everybody have a great week, and love to all of you. Yep. We are doing fine. I'm over and out, y'all. Wait, did I finish making that statement? If you're watching the video, you can still put a number in. Don't worry about it. Okay. I got you. Peace. Oh my goodness. Ooh, this machine.